Good morning Year 4 and welcome to Friday's maths lesson. So we are now at our final maths lesson of our home learning, and can I just say I am blown away by all of your hard work that you have done at home with your parents on your own and sending the work in. It's been fantastic and I'm so glad that you've engaged with your learning, and then you are going to be ready to start in class on Monday. So well done, I can't wait for you all to come back. It's going to be so much more fun than doing our home learning from a distance, so well done everybody. Now this is our final maths lesson, and you'll notice in your books, if you went to the next page, we would be moving on to shape. And it seems quite silly that we move on to some new learning when we're coming back to school on Monday. So although we have been using our books at home, I don't want us to go on to the next page. I want us to work on Oak Academy today. So you won't need your booklets, you will need some paper and a pencil, but you won't need your booklets for today. I will explain at the end of the video how you can access your learning for today, but I do think it's much more meaningful that we carry on with time rather than introducing something new which is not going to be revisited on Monday. Okay, so what we're going to do is we've got a game behind me and it's going to be telling the time. Now you can freeze the video when I'm out of the screen, and if you want to have a go at this as well at home then you can. Or you can just join along with us and we will be moving through each of the sections. Okay, so if you would like to play this at home, you will need a dice and a counter, and then you can play the video or pause the video so you can see the screen. Okay, if you wanted to join in with us, we're going to start. Here's my blue counter, so I'm going to put my blue counter all the way at the start, and we're just going to have a go on a few of these, so we need to roll the dice first. Okay, so let's see what number we've landed on. Oh, number 2. Okay, so I'm moving on to this clock here. You might need to zoom in on your devices at home, but my hour hand is pointing to the 6 and my minute hand is pointing to the 12. So what is the time going to be on this clock here? My hour hand is pointing to the 6, my minute hand is pointing to the 12. It's 6 o'clock, that's correct, so I can move my counter down. Okay, well done if you got that at home as well. Let's have another roll of the dice. So now we are on number 3, so I've got 3 more jumps. 1, 2, 3. Now let's have a look at my minute hand is pointing to the 6 now, so I'm halfway through the hour. If I'm halfway through the hour, I know that's half past, and my hour hand has gone past the 5. So my time is 5:30. Okay, let's see if we get a bigger number when we do our rolling of the dice. Oh, that's much better. We've got a number 5. So I'm just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, this has got the minute hand pointing to the 6 again. So it's going to be half past, and my hour hand, the shorter hand, has just gone past the 7. So it's going to be 7:30, isn't it? So I can move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you are playing this at home, you can get a counter each, or maybe just move your finger on the tablet or any device you are working on, and you can see who gets to the end. We'll do one more and then we will move on. Okay, so let's roll the dice again. Oh, we've only got the number 1, we've only got 1 jump. But let's have a look at what my time is saying on the clock that's after my counter. So my hour hand is pointing to the 5 and my minute hand is pointing to the 12. What is the time? What is the time showing? My hour hand's pointing to 5, my minute hand is pointing to the 12. Now I know that if my minute hand is pointing to the 12, it is o'clock, and I need to have a look at what time it is. The hour hand's on 5, so it's 5 o'clock. And now I can move my counter over onto the next one. Okay, so if you want to play that at home, it doesn't take long to make your way through, and you can see who is going to be the quickest winner. If you do want to play, you will need a dice, or you can get an online dice as well. And if you are playing it on the device, then you can just move your finger around, and then you can see who gets to the finish line first. Okay, so my learning question for today is, can I convert time from analogue to digital and reverse. So I want to know if you know what an analogue clock is saying, can you interpret it onto a digital clock, and likewise swapping over from a digital onto an analogue, and this will help you with your learning for today. So I want to have a look at my analogue clock here. What time is it showing? So I'm looking at my minute hand first. My minute hand is pointing to the 4. So I'm going to start at the 12 and we're jumping around in fives. So 5, 10, 15, 20. So it's 20 minutes past. 20 minutes past what hour? It's just gone past the 7. Okay, so it's 20 minutes past 7. 20 past 7. I need to show this on a digital clock. Do you know at home how I'm going to represent 20 past 7 on a digital clock? Okay, so I'm going to get my pen out. Now remember, on a digital clock, the left-hand side is for the hour that it is on. And we know that it's on the 7th hour. It's just gone past the number 7. So I can put a 0, 7. And this side, the right-hand side, is my minute numbers. So I need to know how many minutes past it was. Well, we said it was 20 minutes past. So I'm going to put 20, 2 and a 0. So 20 past 7, shown on an analogue clock, is as so. And here we've got the hour is 7 and it's 20 minutes past the hour. So it's 7:20. That's how we would show that on an analogue, on a digital clock. Okay, so let's have a look at my next one. So we're looking at the analogue clock again. What is the time? Now, I haven't rounded this right at my minute hand up to one of my 5-minute intervals. So we need to really look closely at which line it is pointing at, because it will show me how many minutes passed. Okay, and I need to be really accurate. So I've just gone past the hour 12 because my hour hand has gone past the 12. It's coming up to the 1, but we're not quite there yet. So it is on the hour 12. But I need to know how many minutes passed. So we can start off with our 5-minute intervals, but then we might have to count each individual line to know how many minutes passed. And it's a little bit like a number line, but the number line has gone in a circle rather than a line. Okay, so we can go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37. 37 minutes past 12. Okay, so my hour is 12. How many minutes past the hour did we say? Was 37. So on an analogue clock, converting it to a digital would look 12:37, and we would say 12:37 to read it from a digital clock. Okay, we're going to do one more, converting from analogue to digital, before we swap over. Okay, so this is my final one that we are looking at the analogue clock before we swap. So let's have a look at what hour I am looking at. So my hour hand has not quite yet got up to the 11. It's not quite there, which means I'm still in the hour before 11, which means I'm still in the 10th hour. Okay, so my hour is still 10. I am almost at 11 o'clock, but I'm not quite there because it's got to come all the way up to 12. So my minute hand is pointing here. Now, I'm not going to start with 12 and jump on 5, 10, 15, 20, because I know when I get to the number 6 at the bottom of my clock, how many minutes past am I? If it's half past the hour, there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, so half of that is going to be 30, isn't it? So I'm going to start at the 6 to save myself some time. So I've got 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 51, 52. Okay, so my minute is 52. And what hour did we say we were on? Because we're not quite at 11 yet. My hour hand is not quite pointing at 11. It's almost there, but it's still on the 10th hour. Okay. Does anybody know how we would read this at home? If you want to say it out loud at home, then you can do. The time would be 10:52. Okay, and we would read it as we see it. So 10:52. Okay, now we're going to swap over and we're going to have a look at if we can convert from a digital clock to an analogue clock. Okay, so my digital clock says 9:13. Now remember, this side is my hour, this side is my minute. So I'm going to start with my minute hand first. Is my minute hand the smaller hand or the longer hand? My minute hand. My minute hand is in fact the longer hand, isn't it? Okay, so let's start. So my arrow's got to point to the 13th minute. So I've got 5, 10, and now I'm going to go 11, 12, 13. So it actually needs to point to there. Okay, so that's 13 minutes past 9. Okay, and if it was 9 o'clock, my hour hand would be pointing at the 9 like this. But we've just gone past, it's nearly 9:15, so my hour hand has moved slightly just past the 9 because my hour hand slowly moves whilst the minute hand is going all the way round to the next hour. Okay. Let's have a look at my next clock. So, looking at the digital, the time is 10:35, isn't it? So we can start with our minute hand first. Our minute hand is the longer hand, isn't it? And it needs to be pointing at 35 minutes past. I'm going to cut straight down, straight away to the number 30, because I know that that's right when we get to half past. And 35 is going to be my next 5-minute interval. Okay, so I'll get my arrow. And it's going to point there. So that's 35. And my hour is 10. Now remember, my hour hand slowly moves to the next hour throughout the hour that the minute hand is moving all the way around. So I'm not going to point straight away to 10 because it's almost gone halfway. It's just gone half past 10. So it's 35 minutes past. So my hour hand has probably moved just over halfway between the number 10 and the number 11. Okay? So we're going to do one more before you have a look at your Oak Academy lesson. Okay, so my next time is 6:05. Now that's how we would say that for a digital clock. We wouldn't say 6:05, we would say 6:05. Okay, so let's do my minute hand first. So it's going to be 5 minutes past, which means it's my first 5-minute interval. Okay, so that's where my 5-minute hand would go. And then I need to have my hour hand, so it's just gone past o'clock because we know o'clock is when it's 00, so it's 5 minutes past o'clock, so it's only slightly going to have moved past the number 6, only slightly. So I'm not going to have it pointing at 6, the hour hand, because it's not o'clock. Remember, it moves very slowly to the next hour throughout, so I'm going to just have it gone just past 6. Okay. Now, you are all familiar with Oak Academy and we have used this for our curriculum subjects every day from the start of lockdown, but we haven't used it for maths, and I thought this would be a really good platform for you to have a look at converting between analogue and digital for your final lesson, because we don't want to be moving on to something new. I still want us to be embedding our knowledge of time. So I am going to be sending out a link, and you will have it already this morning, sent through on Marvellous Me, and that will give you your learning lesson for today. So it's going to look a little bit like this. So it's going to be the video that you are looking at for today. I'm just going to scroll up. Okay, so there is a worksheet that is attached, and it's reading analogue and digital 12-hour clock. So that's what we have been looking at for today as well. Okay, so you will have an independent task, and the teacher that you will be looking at today is Miss Hill, and I would like you to finish and complete the independent task on there. When you are finished, I am not going to set a challenge for today. You do know that we've got our battle that will be ending very shortly on TT Rockstars, so if you would like to have a go, then that's fantastic, well done. If not, then I will see you bright and early on Monday, and you will be in this classroom with me. Okay, so well done everybody. A great round of applause for all of your hard work all the way through lockdown. It's been difficult, but we've got through it, and I can't wait to see you on Monday, only a few more days. Good luck everybody, and I will see you next week.